All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How's your day going so far? Let me know. All right. So if you're joining me live, just say hi. I like to know who's joining me live. And if you're watching the replay, just put hashtag replay in the comments so I know that you watched the replay. So, you guys, if you are diabetic, how much do you understand about the disease? Like, if you've been diagnosed with diabetes, pre-diabetes, has anyone ever took the time to explain anything? Have you ever taken the time to really read up on it for yourself and dig in and understand it? So let me know about that. Oh, hey, how are you? So today I'm going to talk about it, and I want to help you understand it better, because when you have a better understanding of diabetes and how it works and how it develops, then you can better understand how to heal it, right? Like, if you have a better understanding of it, then you can understand, okay, well, if this is how it develops, then this is how I can heal it, right? So I want to explain that, and that's why I want to talk about the difference between high blood sugar and high insulin, and just go deeper with those so you get a better understanding of both of those issues. And then I'm also going to give you some tips for the best ways to heal it, like the number one ways, the most effective ways to heal these issues that come along with type 2 diabetes, right? And pre-diabetes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I want to start with insulin. Insulin is a hormone that lowers blood sugar. Like, that's its purpose, is to go in and clean up the glucose in your blood, so your blood doesn't get high, right? So your blood sugar doesn't get high. That's the purpose of the hormone insulin. So it gets released when you eat carbohydrates. And insulin's job is to go in and, like I said, clean it out of the blood to prevent glucose in the blood from damaging your cells. That is its purpose. So if you have insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, you usually have high blood sugar because your cells stopped responding to the insulin. So that's what happens if you have insulin resistance. And so the pancreas keeps making more insulin to try to make cells respond. But eventually the pancreas can't keep up anymore. It just can't keep up, and your blood sugar rises. And so that's why when you have type 2 diabetes, you usually have high insulin and high blood sugar, because your body's trying to get rid of the blood sugar, but it's just not working anymore. It's not responding to the insulin. So let's talk about blood sugar now. Blood sugar is the amount of glucose in your blood. That's why we call it blood sugar. It's the amount of glucose in your blood. And, it can be different at different times. Like, if it's been a few hours since you ate, there'll be less glucose in your blood, hopefully. And then if you just ate, there's going to probably be more glucose in your blood. And it also depends on what you ate. So a normal fasting blood sugar is under 100 milligrams per deciliter. That is considered normal if you're 100, really under 100, for fasting blood sugar, not when you've eaten a meal. But if you wake up in the morning, you've been fasting all night long, before you've eaten or drank anything, and you take your blood sugar and it's under 100 milligrams per deciliter, then that is considered a normal blood sugar. You're considered diabetic if your fasting blood sugar is above 126 milligrams per deciliter. So if you're 126 or above, you are considered diabetic. Now, if you're anything in between that, so if you're in between 100 and 126, then you're considered pre-diabetic. So you're on your way, but you're not quite there yet, right? So lots of blood sugar in the bloodstream is damaging to the body, and this is why your body does its best to move it out into the cells as soon as possible, because you don't want a lot of blood sugar in your bloodstream at one time, because it's damaging. It's, too much is damaging. A little bit is okay, but too much is damaging. So the problem is, when all of your cells are already full of glucose, it has nowhere to send it besides fat cells. So that's what it starts doing. And this is when weight gain, insulin resistance, and diabetes begins. So you guys, is this making sense? Let me know if you're understanding the role of insulin better, if you're understanding blood sugar a little better. Let me know. Just put yes in the comments if this is making sense to you. All right. So do you see how blood sugar and insulin are different? Do you see how they're different, but they work closely together? So they're both associated with type 2 diabetes, but they're different, but they work closer together. They work closely together. And I know, many of us are led to believe that the solution is lowering blood sugar or taking more insulin, right? Like that's usually what our doctor tells us, or our provider. Okay, good. It's making sense. Good. So that's what we're usually told. The solution to the solution to diabetes is to lower blood sugar, or you need more insulin. So you're given insulin, right? And we do want to lower blood sugar. That is very important when it comes to healing diabetes. But the ultimate goal to heal diabetes, to reverse diabetes, is really to get insulin sensitive again. Have you guys ever heard that word before? Insulin sensitive? I've probably talked about it here and there in this group, but that is really the ultimate goal of any diabetic, is to become insulin sensitive again, because when we're young, we're pretty insulin sensitive, and that's a good thing. We want to be insulin sensitive. When you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, you're becoming insulin resistant. So your body is no longer responding to insulin. But when we are insulin sensitive, it actually, insulin sensitivity, it just means how your body responds to insulin. So when you are insulin sensitive, it's a good thing. It means you're responding well to insulin, right? So if you're insulin sensitive, you require smaller amounts of insulin to lower your blood sugar. And that's exactly what we want. We don't want to have to, take a lot of insulin, or our bodies to have to use a lot of insulin to lower our blood sugar. Okay, that is the goal that we want if we want to heal diabetes. So let's discuss how to do that. I have some tips for you. So the first thing that you want to do to become insulin sensitive again is to focus on eating foods that don't require a lot of insulin. So foods that don't require insulin to have to be released. Does that make sense? So that is when you're eating, when you're preparing your meal plans, when you're going grocery shopping and thinking about what you want to make for dinner and lunches and breakfast, um, keep that in the back of your mind. What foods, what recipes, what meals do I need to eat? Do I need to cook to not have to make my body not have to release as much insulin? That is the goal. So I'm sure you can guess what foods these are. It's going to be your whole foods. It's going to be more whole foods, less processed foods. And it's going to be things like protein, healthy fats, low carb, high fiber fruits and vegetables. I'm going to say that again. You want low carb, high fiber fruits and vegetables. And then also protein and healthy fats. Those need to be 80% of what you eat every single week. Okay. And that is gonna make you more insulin sensitive. Your body's not gonna have to release a whole lot of insulin to get your blood sugar down, to get the glucose out of your blood. So that's what you want to focus on when you're cooking your meals, when you're grocery shopping, when you're deciding what to eat. Yeah, that needs to be at least 80% of what you eat in a week, and that will make you more insulin sensitive. So that means you want to limit high carb and processed foods to no more than 20% of your diet. So I'm not saying, like some people, you have to cut it all out. You don't have to cut it all out. If you like having pizza once a week, fine, but don't make that a daily thing, right? Don't If you like having dessert, don't make that a daily thing. Make it like once a week, right? Um, so that is going to help you. Following this way of eating is going to make you more insulin sensitive, and it's going to heal your diabetes. So the next thing that can help you with insulin sensitivity is managing stress. So many studies have been done on this and have found that high levels of stress hormones reduce insulin sensitivity. So stress makes these hormones release, and it makes your insulin raise. So it makes your blood sugar raise. It makes your insulin raise. This happens because stress encourages the body to go into fight or flight mode. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about that before, because I'm big on managing stress, especially for diabetics, because that is, I would say, aside from the food, the stress is the other component that that really raises blood sugar and insulin, and makes it hard for diabetics to balance their blood sugar, to lower their insulin, make them more insulin sensitive, and to lose weight. And because I know, you've heard, I'm sure, from your doctor and everywhere, that if you just lose some weight, then your diabetes will get better. But how can you do that if you're always stressed out, if you don't manage your stress well? It's very hard to lose weight if you're under a lot of stress and you have high stress levels and you don't ever manage it. So that is my second tip. Um, so being in a fight or flight state stimulates the production of cortisol and adrenaline. Those are the two hormones that get released when you are stressed out, when you're in a fight or flight state. And these hormones break down a form of stored sugar called glycogen into glucose. So they break down this stored sugar. And when your stress goes unmanaged, these stress hormones stay high and they stimulate high blood sugar. So that's why you want to prioritize managing stress. And like I always say, I know that we can't eliminate all stress. We can't, but you can manage it. You can take steps to manage the stress, right? So the best proven ways to reduce stress are being in nature. Nature is one of the best ways to lower stress, and it's free, you guys. All you got to do is go outside, step outside, go look at the sky, look at trees, listen to the birds and the sound, the sounds of nature. That alone can reduce your stress level like 10 times better than anything else. And then the other proven ways are meditation and yoga. So my favorite thing is nature. I get out in nature every single day. I kill two birds with one stone. I go walk in nature. So I take my dog for a walk every day. So I get my exercise and I also get my sunlight and my, my nature time. So those three ways are like the best proven ways to reduce stress. But you can do anything that relieves stress, anything that is relaxing to you, anything that brings you joy and things like that can really reduce stress. But just prioritize it. Don't do it when it's convenient. Don't do it if you have time. You've got to really get consistent with it for it to be effective, especially for diabetes, right? You've got to have a consistent stress management routine, like a daily routine, in order for it to lower blood sugar and help you become more insulin sensitive. So that's the second tip. And the last tip I have for you is to increase your insulin sensitivity is to get consistent with physical activity. How many of you knew I was going to say that? I'm sure that you all know this. But regular exercise helps move sugar into muscles for storage. And just working out 3 to 5 days a week can help increase insulin sensitivity. So, exercise, I've said this before, exercise for me is not about how many calories did I burn. It's more, to me, it's more for my mental health, my stress relief, and, like I've taught you guys before in the past, if I've eaten a dessert or if I've eaten a big meal, like a big splurge meal, I make it a point to go move my body for at least 10 minutes afterwards, to get that glucose out of my blood, to help my body get that glucose out of my blood so it doesn't just sit there in my fat cells, right? We don't want that. Who wants that? So one of the best ways to increase your insulin sensitivity, you knew, didn't you? One of the best ways to increase your insulin sensitivity is to get physical activity. So just 3 to 5 days a week can increase your insulin sensitivity. And resistance training has been shown to be one of the best exercises to increase insulin sensitivity. But any movement helps. So anything that you like to do, I love to lift weights. I lift them. I was doing 3 days a week and I love it so much. Now I'm like doing 5 days a week and I just do different muscles. Like I'll do chest one day, back, I'll do biceps one day, legs. And I don't do that much. I do like 20, 30 minutes and the same for my walking. I do about 20 or 30 minutes. So in all, I do like 40 minutes to an hour. That's the most exercise I get. And if I don't have time, to do both one day. Like if I have an appointment or I have, something to do, then I'll just take my dog on like a 20-minute walk. And I'm like, that's good enough. I've gotten physical activity. So don't think that you have to do an hour a day. 20 minutes is great. That is a great amount of time to, go walk or lift some weights or something like that. So just doing that is going to help you. Doing that 3 to 5 days a week is going to help you become more insulin sensitive. I'm so bad at physical activity. Well, start with 5 minutes, get consistent with that, and then build up, but put it in your calendar like an appointment. That is the best tip I give people, is like, make it an appointment, a daily appointment. Just like if you have quiet time or if you have coffee time or whatever like that, do your exercise the same way, say for at this time for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I'm going to do exercise. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It can be squats. It can be walking up and down your stairs. It can be walking around the house for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to buy a bunch of equipment. Do something that doesn't cost anything, so, and the other biggest tip, besides scheduling it, so you become consistent with it, is do something that you actually enjoy. Don't do something that you don't like. Don't do something that your friend is doing that you hate. If your friend runs and you hate running, are you likely to stick with that if you don't like running? Like pick something that you actually enjoy, that you actually can stick with, that you, when you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I look forward to that. I want to do that. So, so think about that when you're planning on what you're going to do, and have it planned out before you, like if you set a daily appointment with yourself to do exercise at 7 a.m. every day, then don't be like, okay, well, it's that time. What should I do? No, already have in your mind what you're going to do. Are you going to lift some weights? Are you going to go for a walk? Are you going to do some squats? What are you going to do? Already have it planned out what you're going to do. And what I do is, I know, like Mondays I do chest and I walk the dog, and Tuesdays I do biceps and I walk the dog, and Wednesdays I do back and I walk the dog. So I already know when it's that time, I know what I'm doing. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope it helps you. But I hope this helps you understand high insulin and high blood sugar, and how it gets that way, and how you can actually reverse that if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, insulin resistant, whatever you've been told is your diagnosis. Or even if it's in your family and you want to prevent it, this can help too. If you follow these steps, this is going to help you prevent it, heal it, keep your pre-diabetes from becoming diabetes, whatever it is that you want to do. It can even help you lose weight, lose fat loss. All of this that I taught you today it's going to help you with all of those goals. So I hope that it does help you. And if you guys are diabetic or pre-diabetic and you're wanting to learn how you can reverse your condition without medication, because that's what I do. That's what I try to help people do, is get off their medication, prevent them from getting on medication. I try to help you heal your diabetes and your high blood sugar, your high insulin without getting on medication. So if you are interested in learning more about that, like diving in deeper, learning more detail about how you can do that, just put me in the comments, and I'll reach out to you and we can talk about your specific issues, what's going on for you. I can reach out to you and we can have a deeper conversation about what specifically is going on with you. Because I've helped so many people reverse their diabetes and their pre-diabetes and all that and lose weight. I've helped so many people with that, and I would love to help you if you are needing help in that area. So, we can have a DM conversation, a phone conversation, whatever it is that you're comfortable with. So just if you are interested in that, put me in the comments and I'll just reach out to you in the DMs and see what you want to do. But all right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week and a great rest of your day. And I will see you next week, and have a great one. All right, bye.